Aloha and Tashi Delay from Kauai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center here on the island of Kauai. We present this class every Thursday night from 6 to 8 p.m. and it's recorded on our website, kauaidharma.org. We have no restrictions in the application of the Dharma. It is, as an application, useful to everybody. But the Dharma is simply to redesign your wisdom nature so that in this life and future lives, you have what is called lasting happiness. And lasting happiness is very simply changing your mind. And all of the information that you've been given through contact with others and with social information programs and many other sources. And the Dharma, through the lamas, I'm Lama Tashi, is unique because it's based on the premise that unconditional love works. Now, why do I say unconditional? Because the way we share love on the planet today is mostly conditional. You give me this and I'll give you that kind of interconnection between friends, relatives, lovers, acquaintances, pets, and so forth. This is what we call the drama world, or relative reality. That's like saying the same thing twice, relative and reality. But in your mind, there are two realities. One is how you interact with your body, speech, and mind with others using awareness. And this awareness is very restricted because of the judgment calls that we make about what we've already predetermined that we like or what we don't like. And also in certain situations and traditions, you've already predetermined what is superior, what is higher, and what is lower. And these programs that you've installed in your mind from previous lives and this life are distorting what you are sensing. In other words, it's distorting this reality. But more important, it's distorting your thinking. And recognizing that is what the Dharma is set up to point out. And at the same time, it points out the negative aspects and the positive aspects. In other words, what's appropriate and what's not. But more importantly, when you practice the Dharma, you're changing your programming. You're moving into another state of awareness that's already present in your mind. And this awareness has no judgment. It doesn't do that. And you can't get your mind around it. The mind itself has been limited, as I said before, from the drama program that we're all caught up in. But the real use of the Dharma, with the guidance of the Lama, is to prevent an unfavorable rebirth in your next life. Either in the human realm, the animal realm, or one of the four categories of the spirit world. And how does that happen? Is you remove this habitual tendency of emotional reaction. And you do it in such a way that you feel okay about the change. And it doesn't happen all at once. Some people say, oh, one day you're enlightened and the other day you're not. One day you're a Buddha and the other day you're not. Everybody's a Buddha, which simply means approaching maturity in the human condition. But the difference between an actual Buddha and an ordinary person is the actual Buddha, human, realizes it and lives and thinks according to that. Now I'm going to show you a book. In practicing Dharma, it is very important to study with the guidance of lamas references to the Dharma, which can help you understand not only what you are doing, but how to apply it. But most importantly, it lets you know why. Why is this so important? Why did the Buddha take birth 2,600 years ago in India to change the structure of that culture, which he did? But at the same time, he left the structure in place with what they call the Hinayana, the practice of gaining insight through self-realization without higher instruction. And that becomes the foundation of the next level of intelligence called Mahayana. Mahayana is simply including everybody in your practice in the universe, all the animals, all the humans, and the spirits, bringing this altruistic compassion into the program. Then the Mahayana, through practice, escalates into what's called the Tantrayana, or Vajrayana. Vajra is a word used in India. In Tibet, it's Dorje. It means indestructible. So when you reach a certain level of understanding and intelligence, you don't take birth in unfavorable rebirths anymore. And that's the ultimate purpose of practice, because we're short-lived humans. 50 to 100 years and we're out of here. And the next life, or the next breath, we don't know which comes first, so we do these practices. But you should know that whatever rebirth you have, or you're going to have in the future, is totally emotionally based. And I'm going to read from this book a couple of paragraphs that might help you to understand this emotional preoccupation that we're stuck with and how dangerous it is for your next life. There are 6 disturbing emotions in every human being and in other sentient beings, animals and spirits. And these disturbing emotions are the causes for existence in 6 classes of beings. One of these is rebirth in what they call the demonic or hell realms of the spirit and human condition through predominant practice or habit of anger based on the judgment of simple aversion, I don't like this. Whenever one of these arises, one of these 6 emotions arises, the practice is to recognize it immediately. And when recognize it, don't reject it. Don't accept it either. Just rest in the naturalness, which is a state of looking or seeing, in that particular disturbing emotion, without identifying a self or an object to direct it. That takes practice. At the same moment that one can do this, one is self-liberated. And in Tibetan Buddhism, this state of self-liberation or realization is called mirror-like wisdom. It's a Buddha energy field. But the anger is only one of these 6 categories of these emotional afflictions, and each category is said to have 24,000 applications. Oh. So we're pretty complicated, we sentient beings. The essence of your angry mind is simply clear awareness, because in that state, everything and everyone is included. That's a lot of awareness. It's bright, but at the same time, it becomes empty the moment you have recognized it. And the word recognize, I take apart because I studied Latin. Recognize, which means rethink it. Use your intelligence. In the Dharma, this is called mirror-like wisdom, which simply means seeing everything as like a reflection in a mirror, or like stars reflected in the ocean, a mirage. But this mirror-like wisdom is your highest state of awareness because it's all pervasive. You can think of anything, you can think of everything. This is your mind. Learn to let it rest in the natural state without this affliction. The essence of your dull mind is also clear self-awareness. Wide open the moment you look into your natural state of consciousness, which exists within you. You can never find this in anything outside of you. This vital nature is called the Dharma Dhatu wisdom that knows everything and how to use it. The remedy is the dull mind is aware in a higher state of intelligence. So learn your mind and learn to rest in the natural state within your mind. The essence of your proud mind, now we're talking about arrogance, is the unfolding of this self-awareness, moving from the drama mind of awareness into the natural mind of awareness, which is without judgment. When you recognize this state, it is naturally empty the moment you learn to rest in it. Looking into the natural face of this aspect of your consciousness is called the wisdom of equality, where there is no high or low, good or bad, inside or outside, and so forth. In this way, your mind is simply resting in this natural state. Please practice to do this. Then the essence of your lustful mind, based on attachment, is attachment only for sure. The state of empty bliss, it arises the moment you sustain this without clinging to it. In other words, abandoning the attachment and let the emotion bring you energy, power. This nature is called discriminating wisdom or awareness. Learn to let your mind rest in this natural state as the antidote. Now I'm only reading these categories. And in the Dharma, when we put the Dharma centers together, the Lamas gave us this chart. And on this chart, actually it's two-sided. The elements on one side, which are everything in the universe. Everything is made of elements. Your mother made you of elements. Connect to this inner state of pure or clear awareness. And each of these is directed by the Lama's teachings as a Buddha field. And when you learn one, it's easy to access the other four or do the practice to bring the antidote to the other four. But when you can bring all of these together, that creates a sixth Buddha sphere or Buddha energy field. And I'll just put these in relation to what I just read. The top one is the anger with its own antidote. The next one down is jealousy or envy with its own antidote. The next one is dullness, delusion, or stupidity with its own antidote. The next one is pride or arrogance with its own antidote. And the final one is lust or desire with its own antidote. And where do these come from? Taking birth in a human body with the basis of what creates everything, the five elements. Earth, water, fire, air, space. Now, these two can't be separate. You can't be in the human condition without these emotional afflictions because of karma, because of everything changes, because of conditioned existence, and many other reasons. These tendencies follow you like a shadow. So Dharma practice is designed to gently change or remove the negative tendencies or transform them in tantric practice into higher states of intelligence and awareness. That's where the word Buddha originated. It's a made-up word. The Buddha never used that term. He always referred to consciousness as awareness with intelligence. And in Sanskrit, that was called sunyata. So I'm showing you this tonight because, yes, we have these emotional afflictions. And yes, they cause our next rebirth in either a hell realm or a deprived spirit realm, or a demigod, war god realm, or a higher state of what we call celestial rebirth in the heavenly realms, or in the human condition. And when you're in the healing condition on a planet, then you have the animal world, because that's where we evolved from. But those 6 kinds of sentient beings were all created by their own emotional afflictions. So let's practice. We start by refuge. For those of you who have the refuge sheet, we'll read the top one, which is the awareness that everybody in the universe is in the same boat with you. So everything you're doing is for them. So we have this altruistic motivation, which is not present or a part of any other religious tradition or practice for healing on the planet today, and not included in most Buddhist traditions. So we're going to read this. In order to attain enlightenment for myself and limitless sentient beings, our mothers, we now altogether take refuge and, when possible, offer prostrations. That altruistic motivation is chanted in Sanskrit in India and Sanskrit in Tibet, to communicate it to the world, but most importantly, to communicate it to the spirit world, because they're our mothers. The animal world, they're our mothers. All humans on planets everywhere in the universe are our mothers. But most importantly, when the spirits hear this altruistic motivation, you've started a new program to include them in your practice. You're befriending these antagonistic beings called spirits. And it's good to know that they were all once humans, and you have karma probably with every one of them. So I'm going to chant this in Sanskrit for the spirits. Dagdang Jowa Namke Padang Yampe Samchem Tamche Dudine Junte Jisi Jangchu Ningpo Lachi Ki Bardu. Then we take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. The Sangha is all the people that teach and practice. And all the symbols of the Lama used in transforming the mind from its relative state to its ultimate state of pure awareness. And it goes like this. We go for refuge to all holy Lamas. We go for refuge to all the Yidams, which are the deities we gather in our mandalas and apply to every sentient being. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those have reached maturity, have conquered their mind and gone beyond into the non-judgmental state of highest intelligence. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. When we use the word supreme, we mean the altruistic motivation is in play. And it includes everybody and everything. That's the word supreme. We go for refuge to all the noble Sangha. That's everybody that teaches and practices this supreme path, of which there's no end and no ceiling. We go for refuge to all the Dakas and Dakinis, which are the protectors and defenders of this Dharma, which the word Dharma means wisdom, acquiring wisdom. All of these 6 possess the eye of transcending awareness, which means they're all resting in the non-judgmental state of their own consciousness. So this six, the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and the three roots of Tantra, lamas, deities, and protectors, are the support so that you can actualize the altruistic motivation. You have guidance, you have method, and you can reach conviction that this is appropriate. You don't have to use the word true. I'll chant the six refuges in Sanskrit, again, for the spirit. Palin Lama Dampa Namla Chapsu Shio Yedam Chokor Gilacho Namla Chapsu Shio Sanjay Chong Dende Namla Chapsu Shio Dampe Chur Namla Chapsu Shio Palpe Gendum Namla Chapsu Shio Pawo Gandro Chokyung Sume Sho Yeshe Ki Shendong Depa Namla Chapsu Shio. That ending phrase, Namla Chapsu Shio, means we altogether are doing this. And that altogether-ness is a true factor of existence. Everything in this universe and everyone in this universe is integrated into you for support. And your karmic connection is in full play with all of that. Then we practice what is called Bodhisattva Training School. It's called Bodhichitta in Tibetan. And that means you take these six supports and the altruistic motivation, and you have six bodhisattva practices that apply to the relative conditional world you're living in right now and are inseparable from every aspect of a higher intelligence which is innate in you and every human being appropriately, beneficially. So we read this prayer of Bodhicitta. To the Buddha, Dharma, and this supreme assembly, we go for refuge until enlightenment. May I, through practicing the six bodhisattva disciplines, accomplish Buddhahood for all these sentient beings. And in Sanskrit, we chant that. Sanjay Chodam Choki Chodam La Jang Shu Bardu Dagni Chapsu Chi Dagi Jinso Jipe Sonam Gi Chola Penjer Sanjay Drupar Sho. That word droop I just said simply translated means practice. Acquire your own higher intelligence and learn how to use it. So these three, the altruistic motivation, the six refuges, and the six bodhisattva discipline practices, it's advisable to, before each session of formal practice, say them in either English or Tibetan Sanskrit, because they are the theme and application of whatever practice the Lama advises you to do. Some are for developing good health in your body, which we're going to do that next. Some are for developing good power in your speech And some are for reaching maturity, understanding your true nature and how to use it. And there's a place in the practice where those three come together. Because in mirror-like wisdom, there's no such thing as separation, so your body, speech, and mind must be brought together through focus and the applications of your imagination using these methods with this purpose. Generosity is the first. If you practice meditation, you are being generous on both the relative and ultimate nature of your own mind. The same goes for the second Bodhisattva practice of morality, which is together with ethics and good manners, applied to everybody and yourself and the world environment around you. The third is patience, applied on both the relative and ultimate level. Absolutely wonderful to be patient, to be open and clear and receptive to everything, to everyone. Diligence or perseverance means these three are ongoing, but you have to learn to meditate. Without meditation, you cannot reach the other side. You know, the Dalai Lama says, from my side, I think it looks like this. So this other side is inside of you. The outside, trouble coming. Inside, improvement coming. Peace and tranquility, for instance. Meditation with using your imagination, the ability to visualize and imagine what's appropriate actually taking place, is the most powerful aspect of all Tibetan Buddhist shamanistic practice. Because it causes these appropriate things in your mind to crystallize out here. It doesn't work the other way around. Insight is the sixth, and that means you're simply determining that this other nature of awareness in your consciousness is infinitely more appropriate than the way you're doing it now. Well stated. Infinitely. That means no boundary, no limit, uncountable. And you don't have to have faith in this. All you have to do is practice and see the results appear, arise out of your own power and energy, out of your human condition, and your involvement with others and the environment around you. It gets better and better, moment by moment, day by day, year by year. You can see that, you're experiencing that. Then conviction will arise that this is useful. And with loving kindness and compassion, altruistic compassion, you give this as a gift to everybody, every session that you put in. So we're going to start with the 3 lights meditation practice. And that becomes the basis of bringing the body, speech, and mind to acquire the good health that's necessary to do practice through the 5 elements practice, healing practice. With that in place, then we'll proceed on into the program tonight, which is called the 3 powers. Arising in practice with 3 Tibetan deity yoga practices that the Buddha taught 2,600 years ago that pervaded all of the Indian, we call Mahasiddhas, into Tibet, and now they're worldwide. And I'll say more about that when we reach that in the program. Sit with your back straight, head slightly tilted, eyes half closed. Soften your gaze to the space and light about 2 feet in front, arm's length in front. Mouth closed, hands in a comfortable position, either on the knees or in the lap. And with these 6 or 5 positions, bring your focus to your breath. Inhale. Fill your lungs with air, extend your diaphragm. Exhale. The air out your nose, or if you can't do that, out your mouth. And diaphragm compress. Breathe like that for 4 or 5 breaths. This conscious breathing or connection to the breath is the first step in bringing your body, speech, and mind together. Then bring your focus to the breath, and as you inhale, imagine the light energy of the universe as white light filling your lungs. The energy of that pervades every cell in your body with what we call the middle breath or absorption breath, spontaneously, as red light to every cell. In a flash, then you bring the code of these 2, the inhale, the middle breath, the white and the red program, together, and exhale blue light out your nose and visualize it to space, which is all pervasive, which means to everyone in the universe. Again, inhale white light, just fill your lungs, visualize that. Red light flashing through every cell in your body, even your hair if you want. Combine those 2 codes of red and white, those 2 breaths, to the exhale out your nose as blue light to space. Any color blue you like the sky. It is recommended that you use this method for about 21 breaths, or for about a minute or 2. Then move to the five elements healing practice based on this prana yoga practice of the three lights, breathing technique. The elements are earth, water, fire, air, space. Tonight we're going to use, for the practice, the fire element. Fire is an energy program of radiation, and there are many types of radiation. But the fire one is related to our form body as how it functions to keep us warm. Warm in the sensual aspects and warm in the heart. And have that warmth expressed to others through these methods. The symbol is a five-sided pyramid, four sides and a base. It is visualized as light, red light, and it is labeled fire. When you bring the three lights, the white, red, and blue, all together, you imagine them to condense into a tiny spark or point of light, energy, like an atom, in the center of your chest. And this creates an energy program called a chakra. In Tibetan or Sanskrit, it's called bindu or tigli. But this chakra, based on your breathing and the color code of that, is to connect you to the universal light of boundless space, the all-pervasive light, which is the energy of the entire universe that causes everything to appear. And it sustains the life force of living beings. So you rest. You can keep connected to that point, but light interacts with all light. So that one little tiny light point merges with the infinite light of the boundless fabric of space, which has no boundary. This is your Dharmakaya mind, the vehicle of all pervasiveness. And it represents insight, wisdom, natural mind, and many other phrases used to express these higher and higher states of intelligence or realization. So just rest for a few moments in basic space, connecting to it through your heart chakra. This state of universal voidness then becomes the part and particle of every aspect of meditation. So with your imagination and your focus together, imagine that little point to increase in size until it makes a little sphere of clear light. Then increase or imagine that sphere to grow into the element we're using tonight for the practice of fire, the four-sided, five-sided red pyramid about the size of your thumbnail, located in the center of your heart chakra. Then this universal element will be the method of the practice this keeping focus and awareness together as this symbol. Once you think it's there and see it's there, then imagine it to move out in front of your body and up before your eyes to where your gaze was placed at the start of practice, 2 feet in front. What you are doing is you are activating your third eye, which is the symbol of imagination. Then start the 5 element healing practice by increasing the size of this sphere to a large room that you see your form body sitting inside, just as you are. So now all of this visualizing is about this tent-like red pyramid being the energy program of the universe focused into your physical body. For good health. Then share this energy program by imagining the red pyramid labeled fire to increase in size to completely enclose this island of Kauai and surrounding ocean, or the town, city, or a large area of where you're practicing. All of that inside the symbol of the fire. Expand your awareness by visualizing the red pyramid to completely enclose Mother Earth, including her atmosphere. Expand it in size to completely enclose our solar system. All the planets, the sun inside, and everything that exists for billions of miles in diameter. Then expand it in size to completely enclose our spiral dish-shaped galaxy. Then move beyond the boundaries of your conceptual mind, beyond imagination, and allow this to merge with space. As this step takes place, no meditation. Simply relax just as you are in space, by remaining in the present moment. In space, there is no time. So relax. You're off the clock. By doing this in this healing practice, you are referencing the usefulness of the other nature of your mind as awareness. Then return with your imagination and focus together and again place the pyramid, the galaxy inside the pyramid, labeled fire. Shrink this red symbol to just enclose our solar system. Imagine it to shrink in size as just enclosing Mother Earth. Smaller and smaller to just enclose our neighborhood, island, city, or town where we are practicing. Then shrink it down to just enclosing your physical form inside, bringing all the energy of the universe around you and its healing properties focused into your physical body. Psychically, powerfully directed. Now we did these steps quite fast, but actually in practice sessions, you move at your speed. End the practice by taking the pyramid again to its original small size in front of your eyes. If you can see it there with your ordinary eyes, you have a very powerful imagination. Bring it to chest level and into your heart chakra. Again, shrink it in size to the tiny particle blending with the light of space. Relax in voidness, the present moment. Gently keep your mind in that position of timelessness and relax. Simply contemplate this condition. Then bring this higher state of awareness that you have now developed to in front of your eyes and spread it everywhere. And we dedicate the merit of the virtue of this healing practice to all sentient beings everywhere. And that is the 3 lights, 5 elements healing practice And regardless of which symbol of the 5 elements you use, the practice is done the same way regardless of which element. It's just that you're emphasizing for healing purposes the nature of the element. Fire is warmth, water is unity, space is openness, earth is supportive, unifying, and air we all share. Something like that. Now, here on my left is a symbol. And I used the fire energy tonight because this symbol is the symbol of all pervasive light of your universe. This universe we live in, its nature is light. Its connection is space. These two together produce everything, all the energy in the universe. Your body is nothing more than a bunch of atoms glommed together karmically so you can have fun. That's our universe. And this sound in Tibetan is Hri, H-R-I, H-R-I. It's called a stacked tantric seed soul, creation sound. And what are we creating is the energy field or Buddha field of a mature state of awareness that doesn't have any limits, like light has no limits, infinite, to access how to discern everything, how to discern what is truth and what is fabricated. What is the true nature of everything in the relative condition which we find ourselves? And what is the truth, absolute truth of the other nature that's more appropriate? That's this sound. And when we use this sound, you can color code it. Here it's in black. 5 different ways, according either to color code of the 5 elements or it's the same color code for the 5 states of awareness. But this Hri is the seed soul of the maturity of your own consciousness as Amitabha Buddha, the Buddha of infinite light. We just did that. We just took the fire system into the space, outer, inner, and in between. That's that Buddha field. You can understand it that way. And in that way also it's useful for any kind of healing modality. Most of the healing modalities we have on this planet are symptomatic. That works, but only to a certain degree, because all health problems, disease, viruses, bacteria, mold, all of that kind of stuff are symptomatically dealt with. But that only gives a temporary relief. That doesn't treat the cause. And the cause is the emotional afflictions that we are dealing with, anger, in these 5 categories. Actually, there are 6. Anger, lust or desire, jealousy or envy, stupidity, delusion, bewilderment, arrogance. All religions are arrogant, including most forms of Buddhism. Why? Because you're raising yourself up to be divine and supernatural, and that's not possible. That's called the worldly states of emotional influx. Arrogance leads to war. And that's what's going on all over this planet right now. But for us, it's not about this outer drama program. It's the inner one. And if we get that one together, then we can dissipate the pain and suffering of this outer, because we'll be treating the cause and the symptom. So we're making causal medicine and symptomatic medicine appropriately. And the way we do it in Tibetan Buddhism is...
What about jealousy?
What about what?
You forgot jealousy.
Oh, jealousy. Didn't I say envy or envy or jealousy? Also greed. Those are the 6 categories. But these conflicting emotions are the cause of all pain and suffering. And the healing remedies is to deal with them directly with 3 levels of practice. And when we do that, you have 3 ways of bringing an antidote into the situation. The basis is your body, speech, and mind. The antidotes are compassion, power, and insight applied to your body, speech, and mind. Not involving yourself with the past, the present, or the future. You see, we got these 3s. The Buddha presented his teachings on what they call 3 baskets. And he did that because where he was at that time, there was 3 levels of consciousness in the population called India. But for us tonight, we're going to use the compassion as a deity, and we're going to apply that deity every single sentient being in the world, in the universe, not just on this planet, not just those that live inside you or around you, but in totality. And this is called the Mahayana Approach, to move you from the idea of a self or a soul evolving. We're not going anywhere. You know, lamas don't go anywhere. We just hang. And it's okay. And then we take that hangingness as an indication that maybe it's possible for others to accomplish this same enviable position. Here I go, envy. So we use Chenrezig. This deity, up here I put 3 lotus flowers. When you take birth in the human condition, you want these 3 lotus flowers are your compassion, power, and insight, giving it to others. That's the reason for the rebirth, as your body, speech, and mind. Then you bring these 3 into the deity as compassion, power, and insight. So tonight we're going to do, these three are inseparable. But in the Buddhist tradition, because of the application to treat the cause and the outer conditions, the cause is inner, these three are practiced separately as apps, just like you have on your computer, your cell phone. So this is the application of compassion, but power and insight is part of it. This is the application, this is compassion with power and insight. This one is power with insight and compassion. This is insight with compassion and power. You can't have these separate, but you can use them separately, just like you do the 5 elements, to treat situations. And today on Mother Earth, we have a situation. So sit with your back straight, hands on your knees, head slightly tilted forward, eyes open, mouth closed, and breathe. Inhale white light, visualize it coming in and filling your lungs. Middle breath, red light, spontaneously from that energy to every cell in your body. And the blue light is the result of these two codes or breaths going to everyone and throughout space. But there's a sound. And you inhale the white light into your lungs, you hear the sound Om. When you use the absorption breath to spread that energy as red light to every cell in your body, you hear the sound Ah. Then you bring those two together, the Om and the Ah, the color code blue and red, and exhale blue light out your nose and you hear the sound Hum. Hum. Looks like a hurry, but it's a hum. What did they do? They took the hook on the top and put it on the bottom. They changed the symbol. Both of them are infinite healing modalities. But when you use this hum, it's the action mode of your breath moving. Because without movement, nothing happens. I mean, think of yourself perfectly healed, perfectly well, perfectly full of good energy, and doing nothing. What a waste. So we're going into action. This is Bodhisattva Training School to the max. And we're going to start with the Chenrezig practice. And here's a text I made up for Chenrezig practice for interested applicants. Any of them out there that want this, contact me or Abby. abi@aloha.net. Om Mani Padme Hum is the mantra of Chenrezig. It takes those 6 emotional constructs that cause the heavens of the celestial gods and goddesses and the lower heavens of the demigods, war and war gods of the spirit world, and it also treats the deprived spirit world, called pretas or hungry ghosts, and the demonic spirit world. So those 6 letters also include those 4 spirit worlds which are everywhere in the universe, in your body, in everything. And includes the animal and human world. Om, Ma, Ni, Pod, Me, Hung. 6 syllables for 6 emotional types of existence, which require healing. So this is the healing mode of 1,000 deities. But that's a lot of application. So we can bring it down to all of that into Chenrezig, either 2-arm or 4-arm. And he's shown symbolically. He has a mala in his right hand showing Tantra, Vajrapani Buddhism, and a lotus in his left hand showing the Mahayana application that this is for everybody, and 2 hands in devotion generating the energy from the heart outward through the 5 elements and 5 Buddha, Dhyana Buddha together. What's he holding in the middle? Space. It all comes down to space. Let's practice. When you breathe those 3 lights with the sound Om, Ah, and Hum, exhale. Visualize the Lama in front just as I am to you. It can be any Lama, Dalai Lama, Karmapa, Myru Lama, Kala Rinpoche, Lama Rinchen, Honolulu, any Lama, man or woman, Dhamala. And so the Lama is giving a transmission. Even if the Lama doesn't say he or she is giving a transmission, every sentient being that comes into the Lama's energy field, either through this media or in person, is receiving the transmission. Why? Because the Lama sees them as Buddhas, regardless of how or what they are. Or he sees them as the deity Chenrezig, perfectly appropriate, healthy, okay. So from the Lama's 3 places, white, red, and blue light come into you. When you visualize the Lama with those 3 lights coming into you, the 3 sounds, Om, Ah, and Hum, in the Lama's 3 places are coming into your 3 places. These vibrations are for your body, your speech, and your mind to come together. Where? Here. Here. Then from this heartfelt symbolic condition of the heart chakra, outward. So when like the Dalai Lama, he's always going, that's what he's doing, he's directing. When you receive this transmission of the Lama's body, speech, and mind, think that the Lama merges into you, like water into water. This is called the empowerment of union. When your body, speech, and mind is in union, then that's the same way the body of the Lama is. Then you can go into action. Then you visualize the tree. Whatever color code you want. Small, size of your thumbnail, in the center of your heart, in a 5-color sphere of light. You send the light out from the tree. All the Lamas receive that and come into you. You become Chenrezig, a rainbow body that is totally symbolic of compassion, power, insight, unity, and discerning awareness. But at the same time, Your mother in front receives the transmission from you because she created you. In gratitude, you see her as Chenrezig, this Buddha of infinite compassion symbol. Chenrezig has a 5-jewel crown, so he has these 5 Buddha fields as the source of his energy. He has 5 colors of silks. That's the 5, symbolizes the 5 elements. He has 5 kinds of jewels he's wearing. That's the 5 Bodhisattva disciplines. I already explained the hands, and the legs are in full lotus posture as wisdom and activity come together. That's called Saatva. That's the second part of Bodhisattva. Sattvic energy is the mind and at rest and the body in action, or the mind focused and the body in action. Now with the mother in front, you've started to create a mandala of your father, relative, friends, lovers, pets, everybody you have karma with, enemies included, are this deity, rainbow body of Chenrezig. Then all the animals in the ocean and on the land, Chenrezig, uncountable. Then 8 billion humans on the planet today, Chenrezig. Then all the spirits in and around us, out to the boundless limits of space, Chenrezig. So you're filling up inside your mind with all sentient beings, your family, your mothers, as this rainbow body of altruistic compassion based on loving kindness, just like your mother for creating you out of loving kindness. But with the power and energy of your own natural mind, as this sound, Hri, in the heart center of every deity, and Amitabha Buddha of infinite light is the state of total maturity of everyone and the universe becoming actualized as a Buddha field. Om Ma Ni Pad Mi Hum. This heart sound of these 6 syllables comes from you having received the transmission from a Lama to say the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. Visualize the Hri in your heart center and project this rainbow body to every single being in the universe. All the animals, all the humans, and all the spirits in existence is your mandala, is your support program, is your retinue. Sound the mantra. Project the deity. Om Ma Ni Pad Me Hum. All emotions, the energy of all these emotions, these 6 categories, these so-called conflicting emotions now become your energy. So that what you produce that's appropriate actualizes in and around you. That's the perks. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. In India, they said, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Different dialects, different culture. Same mantra. You choose. You like Om Mani Padme Hum. Use that. Or Om Mani Padme Hum. Use that. Free. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Mani Padme Hum. Om 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 Mani Padme Hum. Now those 6 sounds, transforming all conflicting emotions into the 6 Buddha fields, 6 states of maturity, are the cause of all the pain and suffering in the universe to be transformed into states of joy, bliss, good health, whatever is appropriate. Simply by you projecting this rainbow body and the mantra circling the Hri in your heart center clockwise. So that's red symbol Hri has the mantra around it. Om Mani Padme Hum. And it moves when you chant it. And the Hri and the mantra in your heart blast energy through your rainbow body and out as healing energy to all beings around you and your environment, wherever you are. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Free. Without the sound of the mantra, see the mandala of infinite beings as this symbol Chenrezig, filling space, filling your mind. So as it fills up your mind, applied to every being, then it fills the outer world space. That's how imagination works. and you move from the state of the relative truth to the absolute truth of the power of loving kindness, compassion, and insight, which is you as this deity and everyone else interconnected, free. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Free. Why am I using this mall of 108 beats to count the mantra? Habit. Because originally the Lama that gave me this mala, Lama Rinchen, said to say this mantra 111,111 times. And each round of this 108 beads, he says you can only count 100. Keep track in a little book. When you reach 11,111, let me know. I said, okay. So I'm giving this advice to you. When you reach 111,000, or actually 100,000 would be good enough, let me know. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Free. When you reach the end of one cycle or one period, say you set the clock for 15 minutes of saying Om Mani Padme Hum, that's probably about 6 to 10, 600 or more. However you reach into this mandala applied to infinite sentient beings, when you say the Hri, all those sentient beings you've been imagining as Chenrezig, any part of this that you can see is the practice in your imagination. Maybe just the Hri, or just light going everywhere, or just the mantra in your heart, or just the three eyes of the deity smiling, face smiling. Any part of this. Maybe the celestial realms all Chenrezig, maybe the hell realms all Chenrezig, maybe the animal world all Chenrezig. Since it's an infinite light program, bring all those beings as light into your light body as the deity. Imagine them coming into you from every direction. You as the central symbol disappear into the mantra sound in your heart, the 6 syllables. The Om Mani Padme Hum dissolve into the Hri. The Hri in a 5-colored sphere of light disappears into a tiny particle connected to boundless space in your heart chakra. At that point, no meditation. disappear, everything into void. The empty mirror of the infinite nature of awareness, which you can find in the present moment only. Relax. The next practice we do is to understand that the power of this universal application is necessary for control of your negative tendencies and the negative activity of the outer world around you, including environmental situations. But most of all, the power is about the power of this, these tantric practices to effect positive change in the consciousness of the beings in the world today, and to tame the minds of the spirits who control all of the disease program and all of the weather and other elemental situations in the earth, in the oceans. And the effect is to kind of a increase in protection against the pain and suffering and harm of the situations that we are finding on the planet today. And so when we do this practice of the deities of power, which is Chenrezig in action as the two-armed Mahakala. In Tibetan Buddhism, he's called Vajrapani. We call infinite increase of our own potential to become mature. This takes power to do these practices and have a positive outer effect. So it is an actual practice of all the lamas to use this every day, all over the world, as all the deities in one powerful two-arm manifestation. And the head of our lineage, Kagyu lineage, uses this as Burna Chen, Vajrapani in Tibetan is Burna Chen, two-arm Mahakala. And it has a mantra, and it is the seed solve of all healing, Hum. And when you use the Hum, the mantras of power circle the Hum, just like the Chenrezig Omani Pemi Hum circled the Hri in your heart chakra. And so the Hum becomes the creation sound in a 5-color sphere of light about the size of your thumb in your heart. Then the mantra dances around the Hum, and the mantra of this application is Om Vajrapani Hum Pe. The Pe means to effect whatever negative you're working with, to cut negative tendencies inside and negative harm from outside. Om Vajrapani Hum. Then Chenrezig evolves into the two-armed deity in a blazing dome of flames. And since this is a universally applied symbol to all the 6 realms to protect human beings, animals, and spirits, and liberate them, turn them towards again becoming humans and evolving in the human condition, because only humans can evolve to Buddhas. Bodhisattva. We say this mantra: be the deity and visualize the dark blue or black Hum in your heart center. You have a Vajra in one hand And the female calling symbol of the bell, vibration of the elements in the left hand. Om Vajrapani Hum. 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 Vajrapani Hum. Hey. Now this symbol of the bell is to call all the female Dakini energy, regardless of what level the female energy appears, either as bodhisattvas, celestial female, humans, in the what we call elemental world, or the demigod. So this is all that energy around you in space. So you don't have to project like you did with Chenrezig. This is all pervasive. The female Dakinis take care of business. 5 elements, 5 wisdom awarenesses connected into your heart center with the home. Indestructible Vajra application, all pervasive. Everyone gets it, including the environment. Om Vajrapani Hum, 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 Om Vajrapani Hum Pe, Om Vajrapani Hum Pe, Om Vajrapani Hum Pe. Started with you, now outside, projecting whatever is appropriate. You imagine. No more war, no more famine, no more disease, no more environmental destruction, no more poverty, no more spread of toxins, no more spread of arms. Anything harmful, delete, transform. So just the opposite. War becomes peace. Poverty becomes richness. Famine and drought becomes plenty of food and water. Environmental destruction and spread of toxins, the whole planet environment healed. We're the healers. And so forth. Whatever you think, imagine just the opposite. Om Vajrapani Hum Pe. 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 I'm directing this Pe to Israel. Om Vajrapani Hum Pe. 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 And all Muslims. Om Vajrapani Hum Pe. Om Vajrapani Hum Pe. Om Vajrapani Hum Pe. Om Vajrapani Hum Pe. And all religious traditions on the planet today. Om Vajrapani Hum Pe. Om Vajrapani Hum Pe. Om Vajrapani Hum Pe. Om Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum. Om Vajrapani Hum. When you just say Om Vajrapani Hum, you're the deity. When you say Pe, then this fire dome around you goes everywhere, transforming all negativity, removing all pain and suffering. Om Vajrapani Hum, 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 Pe. And Vajrapani is dancing on a human form, on a lotus flower. The lotus and the sun and moon disk symbolize human birth, human application, Buddha energy taking place. And the wrathful deities are the action mode of compassion and insight and power. Now, what is insight is the wisdom that the other nature of your mind, avoidance, is pure maturity, full liberation, full maturity in the human condition. So then we use Manjushri with the Vajra sword, blazing sword with this kind of handle, cutting through all ignorance, delusion, superstition, bewilderment, being dumb, being dull, all that. Cut. Just like we did with the pay, Vajrapani, pay, Manjushri. Then left hand holding the thumb and ring finger of a lotus, holding the heart sutra in the left ear, saying, when you take human birth, you are a Bodhisattva to train the minds of all sentient beings. And the heart sutra is ultimate truth is form is emptiness and emptiness is form. Form is light and light is form. And when you do that, the Hri and the Hum become D, the sound of light itself, the sound of highest intelligence, which is what light does to your mind. Then the Lamas, three lights merge into you. They all come into the heart center, Om, Ah, and Hum, and form the letter D. Red or dark blue in color in a 5-color sphere, your choice. Then the D activates infinite compassion and power in the minds of humans doing these practices as Manjushri. So then power and compassion, insight is how do you use this for your own personal situation? How do you use this for infinite others? How do you use this? How do you know anything? That D is the knowingness. Intuitive awareness is called. Women have it, men can learn it. The mantra comes from that vibration of light, D. Letters facing outwards, circling the D in your heart center. And like Manjushri, you project this symbol of Manjushri, you become Manjushri, this rainbow body. Mother, father, friends, relatives, all animals, all humans, all spirits, this rainbow body, deity of knowledge and insight, to blend with compassion and power, out of loving kindness for everyone. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, Soha. 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 Om Arapatsa Nadi 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 Soha. Om Nadi Soha. Om Arapatsa Nadi Soha. Patsa Nadi Soha. Om Arapatsa Nadi Soha. Om Arapatsa Nadi Soha. Om Arapatsa Nadi Soha. Om Arapatsa Nadi Soha. So like the D as infinite light going everywhere, the mantra goes to all the celestial heavenly realms, all the human realms of animals on planet, and all the lower realm gods of demigods of deprived spirit. These 6 realms of emotionality completely converted into insight and higher states of intelligence or awareness. No ceiling, timelessly, no beginning, middle, or end. Why are you doing this? How do you use it? Manjushri in this mantra is our Google. Om Arapatsa Nadi Soha. 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 Soha or Svaha means always increasing. Everywhere present, timelessly. Om. Ah. Ra. Pa. Sa. Na. Di. Nadi means channel. D of light. Om Arapatsa Nadi. Om Arapatsa Nadi. Om Arapatsa Nadi. This light goes to the 6 realms of emotional afflictions and rebirth. the two heavens, the animal and human world, and the two lower realms of spirit. Om Arapasanadi, Om Arapasanadi, Om Arapasanadi. The sword transforms all that energy into whatever's appropriate. If it's simply imagining flowers falling from the sky. Om Arapasanadi, 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 Om Arapasanadi. So, then you think all that light energy, all those Manjushris, your mandala filling space, filling your mind. Mother, Father, sentient beings, all this rainbow body symbol, together with compassion and power. Then you just focus on the D in your heart center. And when you chant this vibratory sound, D, you visualize the light energy of your infinite compassion and power, all the realms filled, all negativity erased, delete, transformed into loving kindness as the antidote to every emotional affliction. All 84,000 of them. Chant the D. You're the deity Manjushri. It's in your heart center. Blast it out like a supernova and see the light go everywhere to everyone. D, 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 D. D, 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 D. Then we take all this practice session tonight, all this virtuous activity generated and projected out through boundless space to limitless sentient beings. We dedicate this merit to all of them reach the level of loving kindness based on the practice of compassion, power, and insight. Gewa di nurdu da, chagya champo jugyerne, jowa chenking malupa, deyi sala goparsho, sanjay kusum dempai jimla dong, choni megur dempai jimla dong, kendu miche dumpai jimla ki, jitar goma momam juparsho. By this virtue of having realized Mahamudra, they would quickly establish all beings in this state without exception. By the blessings of the three bodies of the Buddha being accomplished, by the blessing of the truth of this Dharma being unchanging, and by the blessing of the wishes of the Sangha, that's us, being unwavering, may this and all prayers be fulfilled. May all the lamas have long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity, and all their wishes be fulfilled. May all beings be away from suffering, and the cause of suffering established in happiness, and the cause of happiness, and through our practice, realize bliss and equanimity. Duchiche, thank you, aloha, mahalo, and tashi dele.